There are very few mysteries that have the power to captivate and terrify us at the same time. The Bermuda Triangle is that kind of mystery.
Some places worldwide may seem serene and beautiful, but they hide hidden dangers that can be deadly. From uncontacted tribes to treacherous landscapes, these natural wonders demand caution and respect. This video explores some of the most dangerous natural wonders on Earth. Number 15. Nutty Putty Cave. Nutty Putty Cave in Utah attracts seasoned cavers with its complex network of passages, steep drops, and tight squeezes. The cave's unstable structure poses a risk of entrapment, and difficult terrain can make navigation dangerous. This was made clear after the Nutty Putty Cave incident in 2009, which marked a tragic end to the life of John Jones, a 26-year-old caver. Nutty Putty Cave, located in Utah, gained fame for its challenging passages like the Birth Canal, the Aorta Crawl, the Scout Eater, and the Maze. As a hydrothermal cave, it presented narrow and slippery challenges. John and a group of friends decided to explore Nutty Putty Cave in November 2009. The accident occurred when John attempted to navigate the Birth Canal, a narrow passageway that took an unexpected turn downward. After a miscalculating step on the slippery rocks in the cave, he was trapped upside down over 100 feet below ground in a crevice measuring 10 by 18 inches. John could not move. His company called for help and got a complex rescue team to help him out of the claustral situation. As the rescue efforts unfolded, John endured physical and mental challenges, spending 19 hours upside down. A two-way cable radio allowed him to communicate with his wife on the surface. Despite the rescuers' tireless work, disaster struck when the rope went loose during a pull-up attempt, causing John to slide even deeper into the crevice. The impact on the rescuer resulted in severe injuries, prompting a shift in rescue personnel. Efforts to reach John intensified, but his breathing became shallower. Medical professionals entered the cave, but by midnight on November 25th, John was pronounced dead. A total of 137 rescuers had worked tirelessly for 27 hours. Still, it could not retrieve his body due to the cave's complexity. Number 14. The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a loosely defined region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean. Lying between Puerto Rico, Florida, and Bermuda, it has an unproven, notorious reputation for sinkholes associated with mysterious disappearances of ships and aircraft. Theories such as magnetic anomalies and underwater features have been suggested. Still, according to the United States Coast Guard, no conclusive evidence supports these claims. However, a string of brow-raising incidents would have you thinking otherwise. Dating back to 1945, a squadron of U.S. Navy aircraft dubbed Flight 19 vanished during a training mission, and to thicken the plot, the rescue team sent to retrieve survivors or information about the crash also met the same fate. This led to various theories, ranging from the supernatural to science fiction, all attempting to explain the logical possibility of the incidents. Despite several theories, records from the Aviation Safety Network and the U.S. Coast Guard suggest that many disappearances can be attributed to storm activity or unsafe vehicle conditions. However, this has done nothing but heighten the public's perception of the danger of the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle continues to intrigue and spark the imagination of those fascinated by the unknown. Number 13. Mount Huashan. Mount Huashan, standing tall in China, offers a thrilling adventure, particularly for adrenaline junkies. However, those with vertigo might want to think twice. The mountain is famous for its hiking trail, known as the Trail of Death, and anticlimatically, it leads to a tea house perched at an elevation of 2,160 meters on the mountain's southern peak. The trail requires dedication and caution, attracting thrill seekers and those seeking a religious experience. The paths are constructed from wooden planks bolted onto the sheer rock face and are described as rickety. Some planks have fallen, leaving only exposed iron, forcing hikers to balance on thin surfaces or rely on metal chains for support. This precarious route is renowned as the most dangerous hike globally, with an unverified rumor suggesting that around 100 people have tragically fallen to their deaths on this trail. Overcrowding during summer adds to the risk, as any misstep can be fatal. A recent incident was the news of a Chinese student who fell to her death after attempting to take a selfie while on the trail. Despite the ominous reputation, there's a silver lining. The breathtaking mountain scenery is said to be out of this world. If you can muster the courage to look down and around, the view might distract you from the fear of falling. Number 12. The Gates of Hell. In the heart of the vast and scorching Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, near the modest village of Darvaza, lies a geological anomaly that has captivated the imaginations of locals and intrepid adventurers alike. This phenomenon, officially known as the Darvaza gas crater, has earned a more ominous moniker among the inhabitants, the Gates of Hell. The spectacle is marked by a colossal hole, stretching 230 feet in width, from which an enduring fire has emanated for more than 5 decades. The genesis of the Gates of Hell dates back to 1971, when a Soviet drilling rig engaged in the exploration of the region inadvertently breached a massive underground natural gas cavern. The consequence was the ground collapse, swallowing the entire drilling rig into the depths below. This calamity led to the release of poisonous gas fumes at an alarming rate, prompting swift action to avert an environmental disaster. In a decision that would shape the landscape for years to come, the Soviets opted to set the hole ablaze, anticipating that the fire would be extinguished within a few weeks. Little did they know that the flames would persist for decades, becoming an enduring feature of the Turkmenistan desert. One thing is for sure, you do not want to be in that crater, so do not trespass. Number 11. The Great Blue Hole. The Great Blue Hole of Belize is a renowned destination for divers, presenting both a dream and a danger. Despite its theoretical simplicity as just a hole, 3 key factors make it difficult: inexperienced divers, water clarity, and the presence of sharks. Divers face a significant risk in the Great Blue Hole. Blue holes, though seemingly just holes, pose challenges due to their depth. Even professional divers cannot reach the bottom of the Great Blue Hole, which is approximately 125 meters deep, and attempts to achieve this feat are discouraged, as the hole has a record of almost 250 fatalities. Also, water clarity, often perceived as a positive aspect, becomes a challenge in the Great Blue Hole. Crystal clear water can deceive divers about distances, making it difficult to estimate depth accurately. Finally, sharks add another layer of risk to the Great Blue Hole. While encountering sharks is not uncommon, attacks are rare. About 300 feet deep, there's a wide tunnel, and divers have reported seeing luminescence from it and have perceived it as the surface. This explained the disappearance of some divers who kept swimming towards the light, thinking they were going to the surface, but they were swimming down. This can lead to a condition known as nitrogen narcosis, a severe threat for divers. It's even claimed the lives of celebrity divers like Yuri Lipsky, who may be the most famous death in the Blue Hole. Number 10. Valley of Death, Russia. The Kamchatka Peninsula is home to a picturesque mountain range of active volcanoes. This sets the plot for the beauty born from peril. Amidst these elevated uplands is the Valley of Death, notorious for several eerie phenomena and deemed a prohibited zone. The Valley of Death in Russia's Ural Mountains is notorious for reports of the unexplained captivity of animals that never leave the valley after a willing entrance. This has left a haunting landscape of animal corpses. Over 5 years in the 1980s, reports documented the discovery of numerous dead creatures, ranging from terrestrial animals like bears to aerials like eagles. What adds to the mystery is that these animals were found to be in relatively good health before inexplicably dropping dead. Local legends recount the story of 2 hunters in the 1930s who stumbled upon a barren land devoid of vegetation, littered with hundreds of lifeless bodies. Driven by curiosity, those who ventured into the valley after that never returned. According to locals, around 80 people are said to have been lost in the Valley of Death. At the same time, this is unverifiable. It might just be true that the valley indeed sucks the life out of the people who wander in it for too long. Autopsies on the animals revealed signs of rapid death, with lungs filled with blood, indicative of suffocation. Volcanic activity in the region releases various gases, leading to speculation that gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon sulfide, or hydrogen sulfide might be responsible for the reports of dizziness and slumping the animals experienced. Number 9. Nika Crystal Cave. All that glitters, sparkles, and shines is not gold. Sometimes it can be an underground paradise adorned with enormous crystals at extreme temperatures that can be fatal for humans. Hidden 1,000 feet beneath the Earth's surface lies a natural wonder, a place as deadly as it is beautiful, the Nika Crystal Cave in Mexico. The cave was discovered in April 2000 by 2 miners. Then, unsurprisingly, it garnered the attention of scientists, archaeologists, and geologists. However, they were met with a stronger concern than expected. The cave's extreme temperatures, reaching 136 degrees Fahrenheit and high humidity, the Sahara meets the Amazon. This condition poses significant risks for explorers, who are advised to wear specialized gear and exercise caution to avoid heat stroke and dehydration. Also, they are strongly advised not to spend more than 5 minutes in the cave, or they will suffer fatal consequences from extreme heat stroke. Number 8. Snake Island. You do not want to visit this serpent-ridden place. Snake Island, officially known as Ilha da Queimada Grande, is a small landmass off the coast of Brazil. It is infamously known for its population of golden lancehead pit vipers, one of the world's deadliest snakes. The golden lancehead viper, Bothrops insularis, is exclusive to Snake Island and is believed to have become trapped there over 11,000 years after the last ice age. The snake has distinct features, including a light yellow and brown coloration and a lance-shaped head. Despite its lethality, there are no modern records of deaths from golden lancehead bites, thanks to the Brazilian government's restrictions on visiting the island. With no natural predators, encounters with these snakes can be fatal, making every step on the island risky. Due to rising water levels, Snake Island is inaccessible to most people, adding to its forbidden and fascinating reputation. Number 7. Death Valley National Park. It is a national park and a tourist attraction, but this does not change the fact that it's one of the deadliest spots on Earth, and you would need more than help if you wind up lost and stranded in this valley. Death Valley National Park in California, USA, is renowned for being the hottest place on Earth, with temperatures reaching above 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Its extreme temperatures and remote terrain make it a dangerous place to visit. The temperature in Death Valley during the summer is so extreme that it has even taken people's lives. The valley has a history of fatalities and diseases due to heat, and more recently, in early July, a 65-year-old man was found dead in a parked car. Other dangers to watch out for in this hot, deadly spot include wild animals, flash floods, and the rodent-transmitted hantavirus disease. Despite being shrouded in these deadly conditions, the park still experienced a surge in the number of tourists this year, leaving a puzzling question of why. However, while these conditions do not deter the tourists, it is important to note that venturing into Death Valley requires ample preparation and awareness of the challenging conditions. Number 6. Chernobyl. 35 years ago, the infamous and the world's worst nuclear disaster occurred in Pripyat, Ukraine, on April 25, 1986. The accident sent swaths of radioactive material into the atmosphere, leaving lasting adverse effects. The release of the catastrophic amount of radioactive material left the area uninhabitable, transforming Chernobyl and its surroundings into a ghost town. Even today, Chernobyl remains off-limits for extended periods due to persistent radiation. 3 decades after the disaster, somebody on a Chernobyl tour will experience a level of exposure that can range from 130 to 2,610 microsieverts per hour. However, this is at least 1,000 times less than the potentially lethal level of 1 sievert. The persistent radiation has earned Chernobyl a spot on the list of one of the deadliest places on Earth. This serves as a haunting reminder of the consequences of human miscalculation and underscores the potential consequences of our actions. Number 5. Queen's Bath. Queen's Bath, located along the rugged coastline of Princeville on Hawaii's Kauai Island, appears as a beautiful natural bathtub. However, its beauty masks the dangers associated with its location and unpredictable tides. The strong and unforgiving currents of the sea increase the risk of drowning and make swimming in Queen's Bath a risky endeavor, even for seasoned swimmers or lifeguards. Also known as the Pool of Death, because of the harsh water conditions, The tides have been the reason for the deaths of at least 30 people. Some of them were swept off from the rocky shores by unexpected waves and then subsequently drowned. Others were helpless and were at the currents as they couldn't swim against them, eventually drowning. These unfortunate incidents have led the local Coast Guard to emphasize that visitors should admire the beauty of Queen's Bath from the safety of the shore. Number 4. Boiling Lake. If you're an explorer and also a fan of hot baths, you might fantasize about taking a dip in one of nature's hot springs. But this hot body of water is off limits. Boiling Lake is located in Dominica's Morne Trois Pitons National Park. It is the second largest hot spring in the world. Maintaining a scorching temperature of around 392 degrees Fahrenheit, it's almost as hot as fire. The history of Boiling Lake reveals a cyclical pattern of cooling, drying up, and boiling. Yet the transitions between these phases remain mysterious, as nobody has witnessed the changes as they occur. Also, the lake is sprinkled with hidden gas vents that release toxic fumes, and the lake's unpredictable boiling state poses risks to anyone venturing too close. Boiling Lake showcases nature's fury and demands respect and caution. Number 3. The North Sentinel Island. Suppose you are an adventurous tourist and fantasize about exploring remote places. In that case, you must have heard of North Sentinel Island. While it is largely unexplored and would be the dream of an explorer to see what hides on the pristine island, North Sentinel Island is one of the places you don't want to wind up on. The Sentinel tribe residing on North Sentinel Island is one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. Their isolation results from their desire to remain disconnected from the outside world and maintain a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. While there have been rumors and conspiracies that the inhabitants of the island practice cannibalism, this has been widely disproved. However, this island remains a dangerous spot as any attempt to contact them is met with hostility. And sometimes visitors meet their deaths when they attempt to integrate with their community. This was after an encounter in the 19th century by a British naval officer who tried to study the untethered tribe, and this caused the death of some of the natives because of their lack of immunity to common diseases. This spurred the deadly encounters between the natives and outsiders in the 21st century as they killed 2 fishermen and an American missionary, John Chow, who tried to spread the gospel on the island since then. These unfortunate events led the Indian government to enforce a strict no-contact policy to protect their well-being and cultural autonomy. Number 2. Salar de Uuni. Looks really do kill, and Salar de Uuni illustrates this saying accurately. According to Uyuni locals, the tears and milk of the mountain goddess Tunupa mixed to form the largest salt flat in the world. Salar de Uuni. This is a myth, but the deadliness of Salar de Uuni is far from a myth. The Salar de Uuni, located in Bolivia, is the largest salt flat in the world. During the rainy season, it transforms into a mirror that reflects the sky, creating a stunning optical illusion where you can see how the sky beautifully meets the earth. However, despite this geological beauty, the Salar de Uyuni is ridden with so much danger as it is beautiful. Underneath the thin layer of water and salt are hidden dangers such as sinkholes, fissures, and a large dormant volcano. Also, the extreme conditions of the salt plain make it a bad idea to find yourself stranded in this beautifully masqueraded deadly spot. Not to forget, the dry, harsh winds. The winds are so hard and dry that they make sculptures of the boulders that are strewn across the plain by eroding them. Think about how powerful the wind has to be to dent a boulder. While it is a tourist hotspot, these reasons are enough for you to hold on to your tour guide and try not to get stranded on this salt plain. Caution must be exercised when navigating the salt flat to avoid getting lost or injured. Number 1. Anthrax Island. You must be familiar with hostile natives inhabiting islands and not welcoming visitors. However, instead of hostile natives, this island has hostile microorganisms. Gruinard Island's history dates back to 1941, when the British government purchased it for biological research. The following year, scientists conducted anthrax experiments to discover its resilience and lethality. The anthrax spores were dispersed using explosives, and their lethality was confirmed using animals. After the explosion, there was no immediate effect on the animals, but after 3 days, they began to collapse and die. with blood oozing from their bodies shortly before death occurred, confirming its resilience. Anthrax reportedly spread to the mainland in 1943 when there were reports of animals dying in Scotland. Still, the government, unaware of its germ warfare tests until 1947, wrongly assumed the anthrax would die off. In 1979, anthrax spores were found, leading to a nationwide formaldehyde-based disinfection operation. Anthrax Island, officially known as Grunard Island, off the coast of Scotland, has a dark history as a biological warfare testing ground during World War II, and its contamination with anthrax spores rendered it uninhabitable for decades. Although decontaminated in the 1980s, caution is still necessary to avoid exposure to lingering remnants of biological warfare. And that brings us to the end of the video. Well, there you have it. Feel free to let us know what other deadly spots you know in the comments section. Don't forget to like this video and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video.